welcome back everyone, Toy Shiz here, and we are back yet again for another new Batman Adventures video. This is Wave 2. Yes, it's taken that long. These roughly came out about a year and a half ago now. Not to worry, all 4 figures are in this video. It's just that I only have these 2 boxed up and ready to be opened. First and foremost, we have Selina Kyle's Catwoman. If I'm being honest, I never cared for the redesign of the TNBA Catwoman as opposed to the BTAS. That one just had so much more personality. This one was way too plain. It just looked awkward, and she never really did anything all too important in TNBA. It was a total departure from BTAS. And then we have Dick Grayson all grown up. He's gone off to Bloodhaven. He's not mooching off of Bruce Wayne no more. And we have him as Nightwing. And we'll say this, for as many times as he appeared, Old Wounds was definitely the best episode. And then he was really poignant in the Batman Harley Quinn movie, and whether or not you treat that as canon, I'll leave that up to you because I'm totally on the fence myself. Now, where does he get such wonderful toys, you ask? Well, the Catwoman came from Entertainment Earth. So I will tell you this, you can type in the new Batman Adventures. I apparently just typed in the new Batman Adventure and it still popped up, but you can grab Catwoman and or Bane if you'd like. And you can have some fun grabbing some sweet toys. Entertainment Earth's prices are definitely on the rise. It's no secret. It's that whole tariff situation. But I guarantee if you go over there, you'll find something there that you like. But in the meantime, we got some TNBAs to look at. And if you're wondering why it's taken me so long, well, you're about to find out. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the, well, a year and a half ago, Wave 2 of the new Batman Adventures by McFarlane Toys. And while I got you guys here, before we get started, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who continues to watch my DCAU videos. I have quite a few of them if you are new here, and if you haven't subscribed, well, we'd love to have you. Why? We got old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you'll like. And with that being said, here are all 4 figures. And let me just tell you this, Bane and Joker were given to me by a great friend of mine, and I don't have the hands at the moment. Both Bane and Joker come with a variety of hands, so you won't see these in the videos, but rest assured, yes, they do have hands. But at least I have Joker's hyenas, Bud and Lou. Can't go without them. But you can already kind of tell that there's definitely some things here that are not on model, and it's unfortunate, really. So we'll kick it off with Bane, and I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who is a fanatic about BTAS, TNBA, knows way too much, I could take one look at this and go, what have they done? What happened here, and why wasn't this done properly? And if you're wondering, I'm going to put up images the whole time while we look at these figures. So first and foremost, it's severely lacking in the paint, that's for sure. The wire for the Venom tubes is white. It's supposed to be red for TNBA. The mask, you can see part of his skin down to his shock collar right there. It's supposed to be black. It's a full hooded mask. The spikes are supposed to be gray, fine, white. We'll treat it as that. The actual face is okay. It's got the shell shading to a degree, but it's just okay. But as you move down the arm and you see his Hot Topic bracelet right here, it's supposed to be all black, it's supposed to have white spikes. They got part of that, right? The Venom gauntlet right here, it's okay-ish. It should have been more of a gray than a stark white, or at least put some shading on there. You do it with all the other BTAS figures. The back, the front, the figure itself. It is the design of Bane in action figure form. Don't get me wrong. He will have that basic DC Collectibles articulation. The arms, the waist, he has a little bit of an ab crunch, but you won't be able to rotate him at the upper ab crunch, just FYI. The arms, single jointed, the wrists, like I said, he does have swap out hands. I just don't have them at the moment. They are coming. The hands are on their way. But that's where this figure really just drops the ball in totality. And it's really a shame because this should have been a home run. Everything is there. It just needed paint. And McFarlane Toys, this ain't it. Now, to move on to a little bit better figure, we'll say. We have Nightwing. Nightwing comes with a bunch of extra hands, everything that you would need with all the accessories that he comes with, like a pair of binoculars. Those were featured in, we'll say, You Scratch My Back and everything else. So yes, these are definitely things that Nightwing uses, and they're from TNBA. You also get his Nightwing orang, which, yes, he definitely did use these, but they were more of a silver than a grayish blue. The actual figure itself, now do keep in mind, this is an old reissued figure, so you kind of have to treat it as such. They are not going to go back and redesign these. That's not part of the whole reissue idea. It's supposed to be old toys, and you'll be able to get them again at retail price, because a lot of these went up in price. What I don't like, and this is not McFarlane's fault, this was definitely a DC Collectibles decision. If you look at Batman and Nightwing here, yes, Batman has a little bit of a risen sculpted bat logo, which, okay, that's fine. But Nightwing, his whole costume is just one sleek number, and the fact that his Nightwing symbol is risen, I don't understand that. At least he has a fairly decent head portrait, he has the mullet, but truth be told, what would have been cool, as you'll look at the image to the side right there, is that with the articulation, with the arms and everything, where is the glider part of his suit? And again, this is DC Collectibles, and also McFarlane Toys. McFarlane, you could have added this. He doesn't exactly stand too well either. That's unfortunate. He has some wonkiness in the legs. I don't really know how to explain it. So yeah, you have Bane in his just what's going on with the paint and everything else. You have Nightwing with the weird articulation, stature, sculpt, and everything else. It's just not looking too good for this wave just yet. Perhaps Catwoman will save us. Well, yeah, kind of, sort of, ish, we'll just say. Now, as I said, Catwoman was such a presence on Batman the Animated Series. That just looked like a cool costume. With this Catwoman, you get extra hands, which those are totally cool. Cat scratching hands, whip holding hands, of which there is no whip in the box for Catwoman. Thankfully, a good friend of the channel sent me a Catwoman whip, so I have the whip, but that, to me, again, McFarlane Toys, what? That's like the main weapon for her. Also, we do get Isis, which, that's a great pack-in. I do like that. Thank you to Isis for ruining the name Isis, by the way. That was a sweet name until, well, you guys had to ruin it. So, yeah, way cool of ya. But Isis is an all-black cat. She's got a red collar. She's got the eyes and minimal articulation at the head and the legs. So, definitely a great pack-in. Does it excuse the lack of whip? No. You could have put in a whip. It's just a piece of rubber, for God's sakes. Come on now. Catwoman, as I said, the design is spot on, so the action figure totally works. I'm not mad in that sense at all. It's just that the overall design from TNBA was very lackluster. Yes, it makes her more of an acrobat, more of a ninja. Yes, it saves on animation. It makes her a lot more sleek and sexy, I guess, kind of, sort of, but her head, way too big. That totally fits with the character and the design of the action figure. You also have the decision to make of what color is the bottom half of her face. Is it white? Is it a blue grayish white? That was always a mystery in the cartoon, the coloring books, every sort of promo material that came out for Catwoman was always up in the air. But I guess we have our answer. It's a bluish gray for some reason. So when she pulls the mask off, that part is just painted. She paints her face. It's just too many questions, right? So this Catwoman, while it is spot on to the source material, missing some integral weaponry, just saying, has her cat, plenty of articulation in that old school sense, but yeah, it's not a bad figure. It's definitely better of the four. And then lastly, we have the Joker. Now, the Joker is also one of those redesigns where as a kid, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so cool. He was creepy looking. He had the all black eyes with the 2 white dots, no red. It looked interesting, right? They streamlined him. That was pretty cool. Now, he comes with his hyenas, Bud and Lou. Those are also articulated. Those are also great pack-ins because, yes, they are 2 characters that are fairly integral to the Joker's gang. So I totally dig that. One's got the mouth open, one's got it closed. You decide who's Bud and Lou. But if you look at the original release, yes, the originals were more of an on-model brown as opposed to these being a little bit too light brown, but you decide on which colors you like. The Joker himself, much like Catwoman, it is pretty spot on. Now, the Joker in this sense really benefits, much like The Simpsons, from always being at an angle. So when you have him in 3 dimensions, nothing is really going to make any sense. So the hair doesn't make any sense, the face, everything else. But they've managed to at least pull off something that looks decent as an action figure. The purples, the greens, the cummerbund, and that's a point of contention right here, because if you look, there's a huge gap. It looks like you could put a penny or a nickel in there. I cannot close the gap, unfortunately. And then when moving the legs up, it started to stress the plastic right here, which unfortunately is unfixable, apparently. I dumped some hot water on there and it just did not work. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. So whatever plastic you be using, McFarlane, is just not working. The color of his spats is totally up in the air. Are they supposed to be white? Are they the Catwoman face color? You decide as well. I would say they're a little bit too dark. I like it more as that white, but if you watch the animation, it does vary. At least they got the bow tie, the green. I like his little daisy right there. That's pretty cool. The overall face does fit for TNBA. But as I got older and started to learn, yes, the Joker needs red lips and everything else. And by JLU, it totally fit the design a whole heck of a lot better when he was a lot more sinister. But this design will always be one of those that holds a special place. Also for the fact that, yes, he does come with extra hands, but he comes with nothing to hold. I do have this Joker's gun, so one day when I do get the hands, I could shoot some TVs or something like that. If you want to see this Joker with Harley Quinn up against the TNBA Batman, that totally works. Although I will say the Joker is very Kenner, along with Catwoman, very Kennerized. Nightwing, kind of sort of in that same boat, but at least he scales a lot better than the BTAS Batman and Robin. We'll just say that. Catwoman, you scratch my back, Cult of the Cat, whether she's hanging out with Batman or Nightwing's trying to just use her to get information and double cross her. Yeah, you can pose them with any of these characters. Batman and Bane. Bane in TNBA is kind of interesting. He showed up in a dream sequence. Then he was in the Superman episode Nighttime where he got his butt handed to him by Superman dressed as Batman. And then he showed up in Mystery of the Batwoman, which wasn't all that great. And they changed the voice actor to Hector Elizondo. Nothing against Hector Elizondo, but the original voice was so much better. So that's going to wrap it up for my quick look at the second wave of the new Batman adventures from McFarlane Toys. And as you probably guessed it, I would not recommend any of these. In fact, if you have the originals, score. Good on you. I am jealous because these are all so lackluster. Everything is missing. Things are just out of whack. The plastic is off. No, these are just not it. So yes, that's why it's taken me so long. If anything, Nightwing is decent. Catwoman is the best out of all of them because, well, it's just simple. And you got Isis the cat. Heck, the hyenas are the best part. But as always, you've heard my thoughts, and I'm curious to know yours. And until the next one, I will leave you guys with that. Adios.